Here we are. It's pretty exciting because I'd like to welcome everyone to P.A.C.E.'s 4th annual, and there are a variety of ways of pronouncing this. From chaka to Pecha Kucha to you name it. But it is actually Japanese for chit-chat. And so today each of our groups are going to have an opportunity to have 20 seconds to review 20 slides, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them to give a presentation on their organizations and show you the wonderful work that they're doing here in our community. So it's really exciting because there are no dress rehearsals here, which of course just elevates the whole little bit of the anxiety level, but it's always a lot of fun, and that's what we want to make it today. And we also encourage different members each year, for those who are in multi-years in our program, to do the presentation. So we usually, have this as a capacity building opportunity right in doing this presentation. So there's a bit of rawness in this and a lot of fun in this, and we hope that you really learn a lot about the 10 organizations that are with us today. So I want you to sit back and enjoy yourself. And we are going to start today with Ammachi Pittsburgh.
Am I tall enough that you can see me? Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm with Ammachi Pittsburgh. I'm the Administrator of Programs and Evaluation. We were established in 2003 to serve children and families impacted by parental incarceration in Allegheny County. You may already know that the number of parents in prison has risen over 400% in the last 3 decades and continues to rise, which makes our work critical. Ammachi means who knows what God has brought us through this child, and serves as the basis of our mission to empower young minds to overcome the challenges of parental incarceration and reach their full potential. There are many characteristics such as race and class that have been linked to criminal justice system involvement. Incarceration has many long-term and detrimental impacts on children and families, including poverty. Unfortunately for the youth that we serve, they're predisposed to criminal justice system involvement as a result of parental incarceration and are thus at risk for a variety of unwanted outcomes. However, according to our most recent evaluation conducted by the University of Pittsburgh, 92% of our mentees are breaking the cycle of intergenerational incarceration, compared with only 70% that are expected to do so in national studies. We target youth in at-risk communities. We have served over 1,300 youth in about 11 years and are currently serving approximately 200 youth per year, as well as their families. As you can see, we are on target to meet and exceed our service goals for 2015. We were founded by Pittsburgh Leadership Foundation and collaborating partners in 2003, based upon the evidence-based National Ammachi Program model. As of this spring, with help from the P.A.C.E. Capacity Building Program, we have our own 501c3 status. You can cheer. But we remain in partnership with many of our founders. Ammachi addresses the needs of children of the incarcerated through 3 complementary programs. Our core program is one-on-one mentoring, in which children ages 4 to 18 are paired with caring adults from the community that we recruit, screen, train, and support throughout the duration of the match. Matches attend enriching outings together, hosted by Ammachi throughout Pittsburgh. We are currently supporting 88 active mentoring matches and have 15 in process to be matched. However, we have a waiting list of about 60 children in need of a mentor, so we need to raise awareness about the issue, our work, and develop new partnerships with community organizations and volunteers. Our second program, called Family Strengthening and Reunification Services, is aimed at strengthening family bonds that are key to fostering positive youth development and reducing recidivism among parents. Services have included parenting classes, counseling, and a monthly workshop during which participants write family mission statements, which you can see there. Our third program, the Ammachi Ambassadors, is for youth ages 14 to 18 to engage in youth organizing around the issues that directly impact them. In March, supported in part by P.A.C.E, the ambassadors went to Harrisburg for a public hearing on parental incarceration. In addition to our staff and other stakeholders, 2 of the ambassadors presented testimony to our legislators. We received great feedback, including from one legislator who remarked that it was the best hearing he had attended in 20 years. The ambassadors also have opportunities to travel to conferences with our staff all over the country to share their stories, including the Association of Black Foundation Executives Conference in Napa Valley, California, last month. We encourage ambassadors with mentors to participate in activities together that reinforce the skills they learn in the ambassadors program. We host annual community events in the summer and during the holidays to celebrate everyone in our program: staff, mentors, mentees, parents, board, participants. These events provide everyone with an opportunity to spend quality time with their families and mentors. Ammachi Pittsburgh is the only organization in the region that exclusively serves children and families of the incarcerated. In addition to our trip to Harrisburg, we're excited about some of the recent awards we've won, including the PNC Women of Legacy Award, which continue to help us raise awareness about the issue and expand our reach. Our staff of 5 works with about 100 terrific volunteers who, as you can see from Gwen's quote that's going to appear momentarily, are very popular among our mentees. To further build our capacity to serve children and families, P.A.C.E helped us to establish a governing board of 11, who recently participated in an engaging and valuable day of training, giving them the opportunity to reflect on what we do and where we need to go. P.A.C.E.'s guidance in the development of our governing board and in the establishment of our 501c3 were absolutely critical. In the upcoming years, we aim to scale up, which will be a much more accessible goal with the support and expertise of a governing board. We know that Ammachi has the potential to produce impacts at multiple levels: individual, family, and community. As such, through P.A.C.E, we teamed up with Denny Civic Solutions, a public policy firm, to help us develop an advocacy and campaign strategy that can increase our capacity to carry out our long-term sustainability plan while producing systems-level changes. Denny Civic Solutions has helped us with everything from improving our social media messaging, such as a story that you'll see here, to developing relationships with decision makers and increasing our capacity to engage in advocacy. In addition to breaking the cycle of incarceration, our mentees are thriving academically and socially. They set specific goals with their mentors to work together on developing the skills that are important to them. We're excited about the growth that P.A.C.E has helped us to achieve in the last 3 cohorts and are looking forward to the future of Ammachi Pittsburgh. Specifically, in our next 10 years, we aim to continue to develop and implement a public policy agenda to better advocate on behalf of the children and families we serve, to increase our capacity to scale up, and to substantiate our role in disrupting the cycle of intergenerational incarceration. To conclude, we are proud to report that D'Angelo, our graduating ambassador this year, received a full scholarship to Robert Morris University. Our staff and his mentor accompanied him to receive his award.
Got to run for my seconds. Hello, my name is Keith Murphy. I'm Executive Director of Bethany House Academy. Bethany House Academy started in 1962 up in the community of Northview Heights. Expanded in 1963 to St. Clair Village. And we just recently acquired property in McKeesport that we're now calling the Healthy Village Learning Institute. Our mission is plain and simple. We have 3 goals. We want children, number 1, to survive. We want them to also be a part of that striving capacity, and then we want them to also understand they have to give back. Our premise behind the model is we know there has to be peace in the community in order for there to be possibilities. Possibilities won't exist without, and with the possibilities, the promise exists, and with the promise comes power. Power for us is defined as positive outcomes with excuses removed. This is the new institute, the Healthy Village Learning Institute. This is an initiative. All of you have heard that adage, it takes a village to raise a child. We believe that it takes a healthy village to raise a healthy child. So with that in mind, we want to make sure that we provide sustainable programming that's culturally relevant and help them also understand that their history did not begin in chains and it will not Their history didn't begin in change, and it will not end in change. We are very African-centered in what we do. So even in our dress, even in our language, even in everything that we do, we have to have appreciation for ourselves, land, history, culture. It connects with everything that we do. Here we see our target population starts at pre-K. We know that the historical journey begins in the womb, but we also know that in providing great, positive, strong pre-K programming, we have great opportunity. Most of these children, they count 1 to 100. They know Swahili. They know sizes, shapes, and color, no more African history than most folks in high school. They're just magnificent. Their preschool graduation is attended by parents that don't even have children in our class, just so that they can see how well they perform. So, culturally proud and academically strong. That's what we're pushing from preschool. The programs that we offer through Bethany House includes a host of things, which is, of course, the high-achieving African-centered preschool, African-centered after-school programming, rites of passage. We take young men to Ghana for rites of passage, so we're very authentic in that way. Health and wellness, Apple-based technology, and we also know the Northview Heights shooters. These are the Northview Heights shooters. We know that we have to redefine what it is that people expect from people that live in Northview Heights. And now we have to redefine what it looks like in McKeesport. Now we have to everywhere across this county, we need to redefine what this stuff is and give them another option. So when we say we got shooters, we got shooters. Staffing and governance. Over 80% of our staff are typically folks from the community. Serves a couple of great purposes. One, they're more connected to the families and they can give us feedback in terms of the needs. The site director at our site has 40 years. She just turned 80 last week. Don't tell her. I told you. But when we recruit, we're the only preschool. Oh, and when we talk about being duty heads, this connects to everything. A lot of adults always try to say to children, you're childish, da-da-da-da-da-da, but sometimes you find adults being childish. So we have to let them know that they got to have a sense of humor and let that child respond sometime and then try to adapt to whatever it is that they're doing. I think I went staffing and governance. I think I passed that other one. But I've been there now for 22 years. Feels like I've been there 2 weeks. Still excited about it. Love the work. Our board of directors is diverse. And of course, when you talk about the economics of running nonprofits, we know the piggy bank sometimes looks like that. So while we don't always receive an abundance of funds, we've been able to maintain keeping our doors open for the past 53 years. And that's something we're very proud of. And as long as that pig still stands, the agency does. The Identified program for P.A.C.E is we've been looking at trying to advance our technology. P.A.C.E has been very instrumental in providing us with all the technical assistance and the assessment tools and looking at where our strengths are and where we need to get stronger. We know technology being the 21st century, we have to make sure our children are driven by something that will be sustainable for them, not only just as having the skill sets, but also being able to develop an entrepreneurial attitude. How we build it, committed staff volunteers, shared communal beliefs, supports each other on the front line. And the front line is important. Stay focused on producing positive outcomes, remain solution-based, and of course, gather and often and strategize. Power stream. Stream for us, some of y'all know STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. We do science, technology, research, engineering, the arts, and math. So we want to make sure, and as you see the focus on the technology, these preschool kids, look how focused they are. We know that it works. And again, these IMACs, this is what we want to put in front of every child in our after-school program. We know that if they have the ability to be engaged in something that is going to stimulate their mind versus Facebook, Twitter, all that other good stuff, it does nothing for them. So we want to build. This photo here, this explains everything that we do. When we sit them down to give them instruction, while we are happy and engaged and having fun, we know that they have to be strong in knowing that there's a purpose behind everything that we do. So when we put them in front of an iPad, and the next new thing will be Puzzlets, and here you have one of our counselors. As you see, she walks in the door. This is what kids give her. And of course, I get the same thing, which is why I'm still here 23 years later. I can't live without that. And then we went to a car show up in Sewickley. Some of our kids jumped in this $200,000 car as though it was theirs. But that's the confidence that we produce, but it's also a visionary thing. So when we talk about power, we talk about preschool to high school to college to graduate. That's Jemiah Guillory. He was one of the Pittsburgh Promise poster boys. Graduated from Penn State, come from a family of 8 children, graduated with a petroleum engineering degree, now works for EQT. P.A.C.E, again, will be instrumental in the process of helping us understand how to identify making more Jemiahs. And this is what our rites of passage look like, because we also include our elders in this piece. So when we talk about pre-K, we also go to eldership. So this is part of the journey to Africa that these young ladies will be taking this summer to engage in a cultural experience that will make everybody feel good. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name's Bob Jones. I'm the president and CEO of Brothers and Sisters Emerging. I've been a part of Brothers and Sisters Emerging since the inception, and as we go through, we'll eventually see the timetable in which we've been in existence and how things have been moving. The next slide will eventually go into our mission, in which our mission, please excuse my voice, our mission is to assist and develop youth and African American and other youth and their families in Garfield and other surrounding East End at-risk neighborhoods, and to pretty much connect them to the opportunities and resources that are available to them. For us, we pretty much want to connect them to the mainstream. Our vision through P.A.C.E is that through mentoring, advocacy, sports, and other activities, P.A.C.E will assist youth and their families to achieve successful educational performance, acquire appropriate social and emotional skills, and attain a solid economic future. What you have here are some of the activities and programs that we have at P.A.C.E. We have an after-school program that serves youth 7 to 17. We have a summer camp that lasts for 5 weeks. We have 2 mentoring groups that are gender-specific. We have a girls group, in which we call it for females, 7 to 14, and we have our male group. Also, we have the history of Brothers and Sisters Emerging, starting from Garfield Youth Sports, which encompasses our youth football program. And then we started that in 1993. Our first game was in 1994. It was staffed primarily by volunteers. The next slide you have here is our cheerleading group getting ready to perform during the game. The orange and blue is something that we're very proud of. We love having our youth take part in activities and represent us well. The next slide will be our youth football program, in which the football piece has been the foundation, so to speak. A lot of folks just look at football as it being a sport. For us, it was a way to just connect and engage families and youth and in the community. So you have just pictures of the teams and a ball player playing. This picture was actually in a tournament in Cleveland. Again, going back to Garfield Youth Sports, we felt it was necessary to develop it into more of a, not just a sports program, but year-round programming. We wanted to be able to provide more, so with the help of P.A.C.E, the Allegheny County Department of Human Services, the Heinz Endowments, it gave us an opportunity to provide and add more. What you have here is just photos of our after-school program. I believe the first one is a partner of ours, Digital Core, the Saturday Light Brigade. Then we have a partnership with the Glass Center. And that's another one of Saturday Light Brigade. And this is a photo of our group, after-school group, the partner Assemble, which is a top technology group on Penn Avenue. Here's our summer campers. We pretty much bum rushed the state capitol. As you can see us in line, walking up the steps. We took an opportunity to take photos outside the building, and then that's us inside. I was the one taking the pictures, so you don't see me in them. Also, our girls group, as I mentioned, our mentoring groups are gender specific. So you have our girls receiving awards at our annual awards banquet. There's a photo of a young lady. Well, both of these photos are again at the Glass Center. I'm a partner of ours in the neighborhood. We feel it's important for us to connect with the arts on Penn Avenue. You have our male mentoring group, in which I didn't get a chance to mention it, but it's titled Gatorway Mentoring. And we believe, again, through their experiences of playing ball and being a Gator, there's some things that come with it. So you have a photo of us. We're at the National Football League Hall of Fame, and then we had an afternoon at Dave & Buster's. There you have the men up top. You have the founders of the Garfield Gators. You have a few of us, and then you have young men that came through the program, and now we're all serving as mentors within our Gatorway mentoring program, which is primarily group mentoring. And if there's a need for one-on-one mentoring, we will connect. The Youth Serve base serves youth that live in Garfield and other East End communities, the East Liberty area, Friendship, Stanton Heights. This past year, we served over 300 boys and girls between the ages of 7 and 17. And you have some of our younger boys that's at our annual awards banquet. Here you go, the staff of Brothers and Sisters Emerging. You have myself, Garth Taylor. There's our program manager, and Wendy Guys, our fiscal development manager. We're small. Again, we utilize volunteers to push a lot of what we're doing. Fortunately enough, we've been able to pull a lot of the men and women and parents that partake in our youth sports beats. Some of the partnerships that we have, Pittsburgh Public Schools, which is great. We have an opportunity to see the grades and the behavior and absence reports on a bi-weekly basis with those. Lawrenceville United, they help us out with connecting to Arsenal Middle School quite a bit. Orange Arrow is a group that we use for our mentoring piece. Man. And of course, our projects with P.A.C.E. Our strategic plan started in 2011. We've now moved into the Intensive Services Capacity Building Program, which the strategic plan really catapulted us into where we are today. Been very instrumental. What you have here is our 3 levels of intervention, in which level 1, every kid gets as they come through the program. Level 2, it becomes more involved with the parents and finding out more of what's going on. Level 3 is individual advocacy and educational or legal system assistance and personal referrals if families or youth need it. We are in an intensive capacity building program, in which our focus this round, and actually this is our first, is technology. We want to increase our database management system, our technological capacity, case notes. We want to have on-time information when we're meeting with people, with young people, so we want to do it all on the computers. And here, we believe the city's changing, and so, as you guys know, if you're familiar with the East End, we believe the East End is pretty much in the forefront of the change. So we believe it's important that we prepare our youth and families for the change. So us having partnerships with the organizations, the businesses and things in the neighborhood, we want to do it. So it's important.
Grand opening of the Johnny David Basin Community Center. Treasured as the former Ozanam Cultural Center, the new building is now serving a new generation of young people, impacting the lives of many. With the support of P.A.C.E., we were able to come at a crucial time of understanding what to do with three different sites, 3 different age groups of kids in terms of levels. And so with a grant from P.A.C.E. with Judy Chaplin and Fred Brown, Moms in the House, we were able to pull together a lot of work around how we move forward. This is moving fast, we think. One of the programs in the program is our relationship with our Healthy Minds, a group of med students who come in and share around health and education and science and so forth, and they've been a wonderful asset to our organization. One of our partners, and we have so many, is Patty Lemire, who's doing a smoothie stand bar to keep us healthy. And of course, each year we stay busy with all of our recreational activities, and known for years for our basketball league, which is going on as we speak. And also one of our new partners, a retired teacher, Carol Moray, who's doing a piece around poetry. Again, we travel, we're busy, we're always somewhere. We're recognized in State Capitol by Jake Wheatley. We alter the group to there. We have kids coming to our cultural enrichment programs, and we travel. And 2 of our kids who went on our trip from New York to 9/11, in Shanksburg 9/11 Museum in New York. Also, as we came back and went to Lincoln, 2 of them elected to go to Lincoln University this semester. So give it up for our kids. Right there. New York, so nice they named it twice.
Through a generous grant from the P.A.C.E Foundation, CARES hosts a weekly seminar for Hill District families, Family Matters, with the goal of strengthening communities by visiting families. We discuss issues of communication, perspectives, roles, and share responsibilities and outcomes. Families utilize this opportunity to discuss important matters and strengthen themselves collectively and individually. As part of this grant from P.A.C.E, we're able to receive funds for a smart board. It is used to display information, do instruction, mentoring sessions that are close and via Skype, and also as a vehicle to connect our kids to local, state, and global opportunities. And one of those opportunities came in the form of connecting our kids to the Cheery Education Center in Nairobi, Kenya. Kids are taking photographs of their neighborhoods and sharing that information with kids from Nairobi, Kenya, and also learning the value of the resources and seeing the disparity between the two organizations. And so our kids are learning to give back. So you see camera to camera, we are from Kenya to the Hill District. This just happens, sponsored by the Jerron X. Grayson Foundation. A tie for every guy represents the type of programming that we're able to continue to offer the community. Men share the importance of presenting your best self and helping another generation of potential leaders to learn the skills needed for a professional setting. The Jerron X. Grayson Community Center now represents itself as a community asset. So CARES is definitely a group that at its core serves children and families, but now with the addition of the building, we're seeing more community use through community events, private parties. So call 412-26-CARES to book your next event. We could have hosted this there.
Free parking.
Now entering the 16th year, we continue to offer after-school programming for our kids from pre-K to 5th at Wesley and 6th through 12th at the JXGCC. We encourage healthy relationships, academic investment, healthy recreation, and preparing for long-term success. Through our strategic partners, we are able to offer Orchestra on the Hill, and one of the features is Bucket Band, and what initially sounded like noise was full of potential. And so that potential has turned into a Hill District tradition of continuing music and education and the effects that it can have on math and learning and the other arts and environments. Warren United. Jared, there you go.
We partnered with Warren United Methodist Church, which is right down the street from Wesley Center, our original location. As the vision, moved towards more aggregate services, it just made more sense. So now we take our smaller children down to another location because it just makes sense that we are addressing the needs there. As a proud partnership of the Hill Youth Partnership for Enrichment, our kids participated in a dance program where they did a wonderful job towards the end of the year. They were diligent in preparing for this stellar performance, and they did a great job at it. In this particular slide, you don't see many kids really riding a bike, but what happened here is we did this bike program where our children were given bikes, and they were able to ride through the Hill District community. Because it's something that really is generational, but you don't see it as often as it should happen. So through this partnership with United Way, we were able to get dozens of bikes, and so they were excited about that. But not just the bike, recipients of lessons on bike safety, and then they were able to enjoy the gifts of good health. CARES is intentional about whom it partners with. That makes sense because it's an expression of the core values of what we provide. One of the pieces that we were able to do this year as well was some board development with Michael Kumar. If you haven't met him, you should. I highly recommend him, obviously. But roles and responsibilities were hammered out. We needed to change our bylaws because our organization has changed dramatically. Interview questions and just all kinds of great things happen from that. Quite often, our kids are on the recipient list of so much. So this year we thought, hey, let's do some give back. So they went out into the community and did some cleaning because you really do need to pay it forward. All right. For each person on this image, I'm sure there's a network of support that makes work worthwhile. So this year, our very own Reverend Grayson was nominated. If you're not familiar with the BE community, I suggest you Google it and become a part of it. It is an awesome thing. But this award for Reverend Grayson would have highlighted Black men who are committed to their talents and gifts.
I'm going to wait for my slides to start because I've made that mistake before. I'll introduce myself real quickly. My name is Laura. I'm the Director of Business Development for Heritage Community Initiatives. We're located in Braddock. I'm not going to tell you anymore. There we go. We were founded in 1983 as the Heritage Health Foundation. We were the endowment arm of the Braddock Medical Center before UPMC bought the hospital. In 1996, it became UPMC Braddock, and it was decided that our organization would spin off to become a freestanding community-based organization. While we still supported the work of the hospital, we expanded our scope of direct work, and now we operate through 3 core programs: transportation, education, and life-enhancing initiatives. In 2009, we changed our mission and our name to reflect this new vision to Heritage Community Initiatives. Over the past 2 years, we've welcomed aboard both a new president and CEO as well as a director in finance. Under this new leadership, we've taken on great strides to become more fiscally responsible and also operate as a business entity with a focus on enhancing our existing services. Another significant event in recent history was that our transportation program became Heritage Community Transportation through the passage of the state transportation bill last year. This guarantees us statewide funding for 10 years, and we are now the only human service nonprofit in the Commonwealth who offers public transportation. This is a little picture of where we serve. Most of our communities are east of the Monongahela River, east of the city of Pittsburgh. We operate from Monroeville all the way down to Port Hugh Liberty. We are based in Braddock. Majority of our education program families come from in and around the Braddock community. We serve over 200 families. Nearly 95% of our families qualify for free and reduced lunch, meaning that their families are living at or below 200% of the poverty line. Despite the challenges that our youth face, the University of Pittsburgh's Office of Child Development has shown that participation in our programs does show measurably significant impacts to kids, both behaviorally, in academics, and in their family. As I mentioned before, we offer programs in education, transportation, and life-enhancing initiatives. Our transportation program brings in $132 million in economic activity every year. We've provided over 820,000 rides. Our education programs serve youth from birth through through grade 8. Right now we have 130 out-of-school time students who are there for the summer, and we also serve 111 preschool students. I mentioned earlier that we are based in Braddock. We are an old steel town. We've seen a lot of decimation within the last 20-25 years. A staggering 73.7% of children in our school district qualify for that free and reduced lunch status. So that tells you the difference compared to Allegheny County and the state. Our transportation program operates where there's no other public transportation available. We call these transit isolated communities. Research has shown that children and families who live in poverty, as ours do, are at risk of school failure. They don't have the resources to purchase quality early education, and they often suffer other setbacks in their lives, which don't allow them to start kindergarten at grade level with their peers. Our staff includes 8 administrative staff, 1 president and CEO, and 35 teachers, so we're mostly made up of the teachers in our program. All of our teachers have an early education, all of our teachers have a minimum of a bachelor's degree in education or a related field. Our board of directors, and this is some of them here, are representatives from local partners in the region, from Dollar Bank to Giant Eagle, the University of Pittsburgh, PSO, BPU Investments, and area hospitals. Oh my gosh, that goes so quick. I want to tell you so much more. Everybody loves the core capacity assessment tool, and we do too. We learn so much through this, and it's also been circulated through our board members, so we feel like our board members have a much better idea of kind of the work that goes into choosing these processes. For this year's program, we chose to focus on our IT, our management IT computers. That's a picture of what our computers used to look like, and this is a picture of what our new server now looks like. The updated computers provided through P.A.C.E, well, let me go back a little bit. P.A.C.E has done a number of things for us. We've been involved in P.A.C.E for, this is now our 4th year. So the first year we did database and tracking. Our second year we worked on strategic business planning. And our third year we did a big marketing push. So this year we're back to IT. And it's not the software, it's the hardware. Our computers were so old that they couldn't handle the upgraded operating systems. We weren't able to transfer documents to one another. Although P.A.C.E doesn't specifically support program development, well, that's not funding for programs. What we were able to do is through these new management computers, we were able to pass along our computers to our youth, to our teachers. We were able to use them in other places throughout our program, so that made it easier for our teachers to prepare lessons, for our students to be able to use the internet and use Word documents, things that they need for their homework nowadays. Also allowed us to update our time and attendance system so that our teachers are punching in and out on the computer rather than keeping written copies. Where we are currently is that we have not yet purchased the computers. I was told they're being purchased tomorrow, so I'm off the next 2 days, but hopefully when I return on Monday, we will have those new computers. We did update our server a few months ago, so thankfully we now have reliable backup. That is all I have for you guys today, so thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit more about Heritage and ask me any questions afterwards.
Program Manager for the Hill District Education Council. To my left is DeWanda Graham. She is our Executive Director. The Hill District Education Council was founded by Dr. Reverend Johnny Monroe and Salah Uddin. These two great men seen the inequities that our Hill District students were facing through Pittsburgh Public Schools, and also seeing that there was a great gap in school performance with our Hill District African American youth. Those two men came together with like-minded people such as Rosemary Moriarty in the audience right here to form the Hill District Education Council. And like in most communities, there are societal ills that perpetuate crime, violence, and drug abuse, and the school-to-prison pipelines is one of our missions to stop as well. We've been in existence for 10 years. However, the past 3 years, we became officially a 501c3. We were able to hire staff, seek funding to implement some of our initiatives and programs to change the paradigm in the Hill District with our parents and students. Two of our great staff members is Salita Hickman and Princess Hughes. They are school-based parent organizers in the schools every day to bridge and build relationships between school, community, and family. Our target is, of course, the schools, parents, teachers, school staff, as well as the community. We do believe that it takes a village to raise the child, so we do engage in the community to make sure that they have values around education and that they care about the children in the community as well. Again, we target parents, teachers, and students. We have a lot of parent trainings and information sessions that we do to engage parents. We're in the schools every day, so we naturally engage with students. And right now, we engage with teachers as well, but right now we are working on developing some sessions and trainings around culturally relevant things and areas that is in relation to the students that we directly serve. Some of the things that we do during the day is parent meetings. We have like Donuts with Dads and Mocha Mondays where parents have the opportunity to discuss some of the things that they are feeling about their schools, about the teachers, things that they like, some of the things that they don't like, and how we can organize around that to make a change. Our council meetings are every third Tuesday. I hope everyone comes out. If you have your information, I'll send you an email. Our council meetings are there to discuss the critical issues that are facing education right now, how Hill District students are affected, and what we can do to help change and plan for that. The Hill District, as you know, is a historically well-known community. Based off my research, when slaves were freed, a lot of them landed or migrated right here in the Hill District. They formed the AME Baptist Church. We have the New Granada, which is a historical landmark, as well as the Crawford Grill, which many of you may know. And right now, the new frontier of the Hill is the Lower Hill District, where the Penguins own and used to be the Civic Arena. Unfortunately, a lot of our community members are African American. Not unfortunately, but we're African American, and unfortunately, we're not homeowners. So now we're facing gentrification in the Hill.
Again, my name is Devonna Graham, so I'll talk briefly about our governance structure and staffing. As Mercedes said, we're very new as a staff, but very old as a council. So a lot of the things that would generally be established at the start of an organization are now just being established. So we're very, very new in our development in our phase, in that phase. So as you can see here, our staffing structure is very typical. Board of directors, our board comes from a number of different backgrounds. Many are retired educators, any education stakeholder, former principals, those who have worked at the state level in the PDE. And then Mercedes talked about our 3 parent organizers. I'm going to move really, really quickly. This is so fast. Our strategic planning cycle, we're just getting started. We believe that because of the way the Hill District Education Council was put together, there's a lot of work that we need to do as far as strategic planning. We do a whole lot, and we are seeing firsthand that we're doing a lot of things that may or may not be what we need to be focused on. So as you see here, this is part of our mission. It says to ensure quality and equity in the Hill District schools by. It's blank because this may change a bit. We're learning that even though we believe we're doing the right things, we got to be more focused on the way we do those things. So a lot of those things that you heard Mercedes talked about as far as our programming may shift a bit so that we can be more focused on what we're trying to achieve. So again, as we get closer to identifying what our target is, we'll be able to be more specific about the way we go about that. And so that's part of our goal with the capacity building project, is to develop a strategic plan. The purpose in our eyes is so that we can have greater impact in targeted efforts. As you see our illustration here with the tree, we hope that we can be stronger as our roots will be stronger, our foundation will be stronger, so that we can impact a number of families who can then impact others. We know that right now we're trying to reach everywhere, and that we'll be stronger when we're able to be, again, more focused. So again, we're just getting started. Because of a lot of organizational, like internal things we've been trying to work out, we're kind of just getting going. So we're excited, and we're looking forward to what's going to come from this strategic plan. And we understand that this is probably going to be a multi-year process. So my next slide will explain my next point. However, we know that it's a marathon and not a sprint, and so we are very, very clear with ourselves that we don't expect that by September everything will be different, that we know that over time we'll have to just kind of take each leg at a time and implement new phases of what the Hill District Education Council will look like. Although we'll continue to serve parents, students, community, teachers, again, it may look a bit different. And our goal is so that we can more efficiently serve the parents that we serve. Right now, we do a lot of work in a leadership capacity for parents. We want to be able to be in a position that we can then cultivate leadership in them so that they can move more efficiently through and around their child's school. And then for teachers, we also really want to work a lot more closely with our teachers. We've had teachers reach out to us looking for support in ways that we're not yet built to offer, but we really want to be able to offer more training to teachers so that they can deliver their curriculum in a trauma-informed and culturally relevant way. So we're reaching out to some of our partners in the community and surrounding nationally to come to help us do that. Thank you.
I'm going to wait too. Same mistake. I'm going to wait as well. My name is Fawn Walker Montgomery, and I am the Senior Program Manager at Macedonian Faith, and we are located in a historic section of the Hill District, where our mission is to encourage the development of healthy families. Macedonian Faith is a faith-based community organization that was founded in 1994 by Macedonian Church of Pittsburgh. So we have a significant link to Macedonian Church of Pittsburgh, and that Pastor Barr founded us as the social work outreach of the Macedonia community within the Hill District. However, when Pastor Barr stepped down and Pastor Edmonds stepped up, there was a change of the guard that kind of took place, and that significant leadership within Macedonia Faith as well as the church as well. So we became our own separate entity in 1997, where we really focused on developing more programs that reached out to the residents within the Hill District. And as I mentioned before, we have a significant relationship with the Macedonian Church of Pittsburgh, where the chairman of our board is the head pastor, which is now Pastor Edmonds. So within our board of Macedonian Faith, we have 11 members who give their time willingly to Macedonian Faith. I have served on boards in my own professional career, and I've never seen a more dedicated board than we have at Macedonian Faith. They serve various professions in human resources, banks, as well as attorneys as well. Thanks to the generous funding from P.A.C.E, our board has been able to develop strategic plans and trainings and a new brand for Macedonian Faith. So you may be asking yourself, what do we do? Macedonian Faith has various programs that really focus on the disparities within the African American community. In addition, one of the other things within our services are that we really make sure that we focus on client and family engagement, as you can see here. And that really is a framework of making sure that we partner with our families and our clients. So we don't tell them what to do, they tell us what to do and how we want to work with us. And one of the common things that we use is motivational interviewing, which really is just having a conversation with someone and respecting them at the level where they're at. Macedonian Faith has various programs in 2 units. We have family engagement, services and prevention and case management services. With family engagement, we have FACT, CTIP, and Lifeline. So within our FACT program, and we'll get to that slide, I guess I'm moving faster. When we get to the FACT slide here, we utilize the model of conference and team, which is an evidence-based prevention model. In addition, this program is funded by the Department of Human Services, and this year we serve over 100 families and 125 children. And CTIP it's in our 2nd year, and this is a Face Develop program. It's a community-based approach to addressing truancy. And this year we serve 91 children, and that program is funded by Macaulay Ministries and the Pittsburgh Foundation, and we're very humbled by their support. And Lifeline is really the heart and soul of Macedonian Faith. That's really where we serve anyone within the county that can call in for information and referrals. And that is funded by Pittsburgh Community Development Block Grant Funds, as well as our annual banquet. And this year we served 152 residents within the county. Prevention and case management services is the other unit within Macedonian Faith, and we have HIV medical case management. Be proudly responsible in bullying prevention. With our HIV case management program, this is for people who are living positive, and what we do here is we advocate to make sure that they're receiving the proper care. We also make sure that they're connected with the proper care and that they're attending their doctor's appointments on a regular basis. And that this year we serve 63 clients within HIV medical case management services, and that program is funded by Jewish Healthcare Foundation. Now, Be Proudly Responsible is an evidence-based curriculum that we really focus on teens and teaching them preventative ways of not getting HIV and AIDS. This year we've had 17 workshops, a lot of workshops. We've had 17 workshops and we served 197 youth, and that program is funded by Jewish Healthcare. Bullying prevention program is funded by the Center for Safe Schools and Pittsburgh Foundation, and we want to thank Macaulay Ministries for funding bullying prevention, because without their funding it wouldn't be the program it is today. And these are pictures of our management team. None of the things that I'm saying would be possible without the staff we have at Macedonian Faith. We have 10 full-time staff, 1 part-time staff. We have 4 summer interns that we got actually from the church, Macedonian Church in Pittsburgh. So this is just some pictures of our staff that you see. I won't read all their names, but you can see their pictures coming up here. And the next one will be of our prevention and case management team. And Madeline in the middle actually just started Monday. So that's probably one picture of us before. And the next slide you'll see is the glue, which is really holds us all together, which is our administrative team. If you ever come to Face, they're very greeting and make sure you're water. They're very pleasant, and that's something we really pride ourselves on. I always tell my staff, I can't tell you to do something we don't do to our families that we actually serve. So this is here is our glue to our team. Some faces you don't see pictured are volunteers. We have 4 volunteers who come in very willingly anytime we ask for their support on anything we're doing. So that's people you don't see pictured here, but those are very willing volunteers. And this is FACE's 4th year receiving a capacity building financial support of FACE. And through our partnership, we've been able to continue giving some coaching to our executive director, in addition strategic planning, and further enhance our staff diversity by getting a non-immigrant worker petition, which we were able to grant, as you see in the slide, with Chim and Leo. And client focus groups, we actually had one today. We really bring together our clients and get their opinions. And this has helped Faith get to the point where today we really have community confidence. And this is something that we really wanted to get. I've been at Macedonian Faith 5 years, and our impact is really well known. And you can see that through our Lifeline program, because it's a word of mouth program. And that's actually the program where we get most of our referrals from the community. And last but not least, this is our banquet coming up August 27th. This is our 5th annual banquet. So if you have time, please come out and participate in our banquet. Thank you.
I'm Jackson. I'm the Executive Director of Operation Better Block. So Operation Better Block is probably the oldest organization serving Homewood residents. We've been in existence for a little over 45 years and serving our residents in a number of different areas. As the years have gone on and services and needs in the community have changed, Operation Better Block has sort of been the gap filler for those changes. Like most communities, in the 1968 riots, Homewood fell to that violence as well, with businesses and other things being burned out and burned down, but not being replaced or anything coming to help. So in 1968, a group of residents from Homewood went to New York and formed what we know now as Operation Better Block. Our mission is we strategize, organize, and mobilize block by block to benefit the residents of Homewood. And we were able to use money from P.A.C.E to do a strategic plan that helped us put together our mission statement, and our staff participated, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. What we do is on a number of different levels. We engage our residents, we engage them in block cleanups. So we get residents to clean up their blocks and engage in trying to make their immediate area look a little better. That's something that Operation Better Block did in the past, in forming over 100 block associations. We also participate in Red Up. We do 2 Red Ups a year where we engage residents in cleaning up vacant lots. And you can see this is one of our vacant lots that was cleaned up during one of our Red Ups, where we got over 70 tires and a whole bunch of other stuff out of one vacant lot. Homewood is a dumping ground, basically, for illegal dumping. So people dump there all the time. This is another project that we do as far as Red Up, was the old Opera House. We did a lot of cleanup around that, and because of the pictures, I couldn't show you the before and after. We also participate in the marathon, and we engage our residents, and mostly our elderly residents really love the Pittsburgh Marathon. So we engage our residents in the marathon. We run a water station there, and it's sort of the opening of the summer. So it's like the beginning of the summer block party for us. Homewood was voted for the last 2 years as the #1 place to run through by the runners. So we actually throw a party from like 8 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock. And then with the DJ and everything else, we get young people out, our older residents out as far, and our staff as well. We also have a program called the Junior Green Corps. The Junior Green Corps is a group of high school students that we engage in what we call vacant property remediation or lot remediation. And so our students learn how to test soil and then remediate that soil by growing sunflowers. Last year we had the largest sunflower garden in the city of Pittsburgh. It was a half a city block mall and all sunflowers. What we've been doing over the past year and through money from P.A.C.E is something called cluster planning. It is a process that was developed and designed by Operation Better Block. It is a new way of doing urban planning. We do what we call cluster planning. We sectioned off Homewood into 10 areas. This is the process. We do surveys, we do a meeting, we do door-to-door in between meetings. And so when my staff helped with the formulation of our mission statement, block by block, they didn't realize that they would have to knock on doors. So they do a lot of that. My staff is out a lot knocking on doors. Part of that is engaging our residents in a meeting and having our residents talk about their specific area in development and what they want to see happen within their area. Not all of Homewood. We believe that if you're talking about your small area, 20 or 30 houses is more doable than looking at 300. Also, part of this process was developing community development principles for the community. So they developed these principles, such as educate people about what makes a successful neighborhood in a community, and then collaboration. Then we also looked at housing as another topic for principles, making sure that people were able to stay in Homewood. And that's really our main goal. We know that development is possibly coming to Homewood, and we want to make sure that all residents are equipped to stay there. So through a number of programs that we do, we help residents with their taxes and other things so that they can stay in their homes. And then also the economy. We want our residents to be able to benefit from that. So not just have projects come to Homewood, people build things in Homewood, and our residents get nothing from it. So we no longer want a $12 million building to be built in Homewood, and everybody says $12 million came to Homewood, and actually a $12 million building was built in Homewood. So part of what we do is, in our cluster meetings, is we look at existing conditions, and we engage our residents. My staff goes out, and they do a foot survey, they look at all the vacant property, who lives where, and then we have our residents tell us if we got it right. So we don't go into our meetings with telling them what we believe, but they tell us what is right. And then at the end, they have a plan. This is just what's going to happen. We're going to put all 10 clusters together, but this is just the start. We put clusters 8 and 9 together, and that's what it looks like with green space, new housing, houses that they want to have renovated, where they want to do new infill construction. Also, as I said, we do a lot of footwork. Over the last summer, we surveyed over 5,000 properties in Homewood. One of the things about this is that we found a very economical way of doing urban planning. Mostly, research is where the consultants get you. So we do our own research. My staff goes out, we talk to residents, and we do all that. So this is the result. So we had over 31 meetings. I guess the most impressive result is that we've engaged residents. Over 408 residents came to our meetings, and came to all 3 meetings. And then over 500 came to meetings. And then we have, if you saw on there, we gave out over 2,000 booklets. So we engaged our residents in a really, really strong way. So Operation Better Block, we're moving in a certain direction, and we're hoping that through P.A.C.E funding and other things that our staff will be able to do that. So thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Aaron. I'm the brand new Director of Operations for Prevention Point Pittsburgh. We provide harm reduction services to active drug users, and we started as an illegal syringe exchange operation in the Hill District in 1995. The idea then was to prevent the spread of HIV during the epidemic. We appreciate P.A.C.E.'s support over the years. As I've been digging through our organizational archives, they've been involved in everything from our website to our current capacity building program. Overdose is a major problem among drug users. There's been over 44,000 overdose deaths in the U.S. last year. And as you can see here in Allegheny County, it went from about 100 in 2000 to 307 last year. Pardon me, I'm losing my voice. Around 80% of those fatalities involve some sort of opiate. You can see there's a more recent trend where actually the prescription medications are responsible for less opiates, and heroin is skyrocketing and is responsible for most of the overdoses that we see. This is a different way of looking at the same data, but if you look at the green and the yellow lines, you can see as prescription opiates are involved in less overdose, heroin is involved in more. And so we see that even though we're reducing the access to prescription painkillers, heroin is out there and very easy to get, and it is easily replacing prescription painkillers. This map of Pittsburgh here shows that this is an issue that really crosses all sorts of barriers. We're seeing what used to be sort of an urban poor problem move out to the suburbs. We're also seeing it in neighborhoods where it wouldn't have traditionally been. Part of the effects of this new trend is that we're seeing a lot of hepatitis C infections. Hepatitis C is most commonly transmitted by sharing injection drug works. And you can see it used to be baby boomers who are really the highest incidence for Hep C, and now it's people 20 to 29 years old. It's just too young to be experiencing those sorts of infectious disease outcomes. And this is just another way of looking at that data. You can see injection drug use was involved in about 513 out of 1,000 reported cases in the United States. Hepatitis C is a biomarker for HIV infection as well, meaning that where you see one, you often see the other one. Here in Allegheny County, we've had a pretty stable rate of new infections. The 2014 data was just released and it shows a slight uptick. Luckily, we know most of that is not related to injection drug use, but that doesn't mean that there isn't the possibility of an outbreak happening. We have a lot of rural areas around here where syringe exchanges are not allowed. Philadelphia and Allegheny County are the only legal syringe exchange operations in Pennsylvania. It is actually illegal to operate anywhere else. So it kind of begs the question of, what can happen around us and how can it affect us here in Allegheny County? So what do? We provide legal syringe exchange, overdose prevention, risk reduction counseling, case management, infectious disease testing, and wound care services to injection drug users. All of our services are free and our syringe exchange is anonymous. We currently have 3.5 employees. This is Ron, our case manager and outreach worker. He's loading up our truck to go up to the Hill District. We operate 2 service locations, one in Oakland on Sundays and one in the Hill District on Wednesdays. Our syringe exchange program is our most popular program, but it's quickly being eclipsed by our overdose prevention program. Our overdose prevention program has been around since 2005. We've distributed thousands of doses of naloxone, which is known by the brand name Narcan. It is an opiate reverser. If somebody is experiencing an opiate overdose and they receive that medication in time, it is very likely that they will survive that overdose experience. We provide training to anybody who may witness an overdose, and we have seen a major growth in this area where the demand for our services has really gone up, especially because we dispense our naloxone for free as well. As you can see here, recently the laws changed. Act 139 allowed us to prescribe this medication to anybody, and in some cases without a prescription. So you can see the jump in the prescriptions that we've given. And also, we document here we've had 1,309 successful reversals reported back to us using our naloxone specifically. Our approach to services is one of harm reduction. We don't ask anybody to do anything they're not interested in. We let people make decisions for themselves. We believe that any positive change that somebody wants to make is a good one, and we support them in any way that we can. For years now, we've wanted a home. We have moved around a little bit. We've kind of been like a fly-by-night operation. We are looking for a place where we can found a medical center so that we can provide medical services that are more comprehensive, but also our current services as well. We want people to feel comfortable and not judged in that place. Unfortunately, one of our biggest barriers was actually the legislation that authorized our services. It said that we could not open a new location within 1,500 feet of public facilities. So when we decided that we wanted a home, we had to change this law first. And it was a long process of getting everybody on board who needed to actually sign off on that. But we were successful in doing that last year. And here you can see some of our board members and our staff celebrating in the county council chambers. So now we are on to the next phase. We're looking to open some new service sites. We are specifically talking about opening in areas where our population of active drug users are living. So we know Pittsburgh's going through a lot of changes. We've been in this process for a long time. The laws and the environment in which we provide services are changing very rapidly, and it's caused us to stop and have to restart over and over again and rethink what we're doing. But I included this picture. This is one of the pioneers of syringe exchange in Tacoma, Washington. He was doing it, before anybody else was, and I constantly think back and remember that legacy, and where we are now as an organization is just incredible. When we literally started at a card table with 2 volunteers in the Hill District, and we thank P.A.C.E so much for being involved with us for so many years and so many more projects.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm last but not least. My name is Philip Battle. I'm the pastor of New Life Temple Baptist Church and also founder of the Western Pennsylvania Diaper Bank. The diaper bank is located in the Hill District at the New Light Temple Baptist Church, which caught on fire on January 14th. We're established in 2012. Our mission is to bring public awareness to the diaper struggle as a crisis in our region through partnering with other nonprofit agencies, faith-based institutions, child care providers for distribution to families in need. The way we do that is we supply diapers to agencies so they can give them to their constituents. There are 15.3 million diapers are needed in the United States every year, and we believe that that the lack of diapers contribute to the mortality rate of children. And in the last 3 years, 5.9 million babies were born in America poor. And Allegheny County uses 77,000 diapers every day. We've also pinned that down to know that they use maybe $936 a year for the diapers. Annually, one in three American mothers struggle to provide diapers for their babies, and 5.8 billion diapers are annually used in the United States. And again, the diapers are needed all the time. Children use 12 diapers a day, and you multiply that by 7 days a week. That's a lot of diapers. I'm not going to do the math. You can count pretty good, but that's 84. Toddlers require about 8 diapers per day. I don't know if that's a birthday cake or what that is. But imagine not having the right amount of diapers for your child. And when there are 32% of families report reusing diapers, and 48% of the families report delay in changing the diapers. There's no government subsidies that exist for diapers. You can get housing, you can get WIC, you can get transportation, you can get just about everything except a diaper for your child. Our vision is to ensure that every child has an adequate supply of diapers to remain comfortable, healthy, and dry. And we do that by supplying diapers to agencies, as I said before, and we receive calls from all over the nation. People have called us, want us to send diapers to Miami. So the diaper need is very big. Now, could you imagine having to reuse your diapers on your child's soiled or wet diaper on your child? Could you imagine the effect that dirty child has on the other children? Nobody wants to play with the dirty baby. You know, nobody wants to cuddle and support a dirty child. Imagine cutting back on basic necessities like food to provide diapers for your child. As you can see, those are some of the diapers that we've collected so far. Our first year we collected 16,000 diapers. Our second year we collected 56,000 diapers, and we've already collected and distributed 56,000 diapers. We've already surpassed that this year. Imagine having to keep your baby home from daycare due to shallow diaper supplies. Not only do parents keep their children home from daycare, they stay home from work, or they'll have an older sibling stay home from school, or they don't go to doctor's appointments, they don't go to WIC appointments, they don't go to church. Big thing with me because of that diapers. That's my office after the fire. But did you know cloth diapers are not accepted at the vast daycares, nor are they accepted at the coin-operated laundries due to sanitation things. And the daycares just won't take your child. And if you don't have diapers, guess what? That's child abuse. Yet the government does not supply diapers for children. Diapers are essential to health and wellness of a child as food, clothing, and shelter. Again, siblings don't want to play with stinky little brothers. Parents are less likely to cuddle soiled and wet daughters. And dirty diapers equal crying babies. Crying babies equal frustrated caregiver. Frustrated caregiver equals child abuse. But there is something we can do. We can all donate at least one diaper. Or we can all get involved, have a diaper drive. We can engage our civic groups, our schools, our churches, our sororities, our fraternities, or just individually give. Right now we supply 27 agencies in Western Pennsylvania. We have many more on the waiting list. As you can see there's probably one in your area somewhere, but our main goal is to reach all of Western Pennsylvania because we believe that the diaper need surpasses all race, all urban locations. It just goes to reach everybody, even our seniors. Our agency distributes diapers to families with a proven need, which is why we are, as a 501c3, try to collaborate and work directly with other 501c3 agencies, and it will help your agency become stronger. Filling the need removes barriers and enables parents to enroll and or continue attendance in school, in the workforce, and subsidized care. And this all together helps people lift themselves out of poverty. And that's my lovely wife, who's the recipient of the Jefferson Award this year due to her efforts with the Diaper Bank. I'm the founder as well as the chairman of the board, and my wife is the executive director. She took over, and the only thing I get to do is what I'm doing now. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Pecha Kucha participants. I'm Claudette Lewis, and I'm the chair of the Board of Commissioners for P.A.C.E. I just want to give yourselves another big thank you. I was sitting here and I was thinking, if anyone ever says to you that small, targeted, neighborhood nonprofits are not serving a purpose, tell them to come to a Pecha Kucha event and see what is going on with things that are so necessary, that people forget about. Diapers. We don't think about that. You don't have any babies anymore. You don't think about the need and what happens to children. Needle exchange. We know what happens with all that. Everything and everything, especially with our young people, you're doing so much. And I want to thank you for coming to give your 6 minutes and 40 seconds. You did an excellent job. And I'm not going to take 6 minutes and want to thank the staff of P.A.C.E. Put your hands up. All I can say is thank you again. Thank you for coming. Stick around. There's food. There's something to drink, refreshments. Tell your story. Partner with each other. And look forward to seeing you again.